Hi, welcome back to another edition of the Camo Cook. This time you're joining me from the confines of my restaurant here. I'm doing this for my restaurant, but I figured I'd videotape it for you guys, so maybe you guys can do it at the end of your duck hunt next year. I'm making duck prosciutto, or duck bacon. It's a salt-cured smoked duck breast that'll have similar qualities to like a prosciutto or a bacon, and something you can use right along the same lines with your same recipes. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to start out with a skin-on duck breast. I'm going to take a pan or a container that I know I'm going to be holding for a while, that I can use for a while with a lid. I use this 2-quart container. What I'll do is I'll put a generous portion of the either kosher salt, or you can use sea salt if you wish, coarse ground preferably. Put it up on the bottom, put your duck breast on, kind of pat it down into the salt, and then just go ahead and bury it in the salt. You've seen it, you might have seen this from back in one of my other recipes, this method when I use the apple unsmoked salmon. I use the same salt pack method. It works quite well for preserving meats. It soaks it in, and it doesn't get too salty like you might with a brine, and it tends to not break down the meat as much as you do with the brine. It dries it out, gives it a nice hard crust. So we're just going to put a lid on this, wrap it up, and I'm going to set it off to the side for at least 24 hours, probably 36 hours. I'll see you when I get back to that. Alright, so it's been about 36 hours since we've had it in here. It should have been definitely a long enough time to let it cure. So you're going to want to just pick it up, pull it out of the salt. Then you're going to want to take just a damp cloth and just kind of go through and wipe off the majority of the excess of the salt. Try and get the majority of that off. You're going to notice a nice leathery, tougher texture to it. But after it cures for a couple of months or even longer, that'll firm right up. It's going to be a little bit darker meat. What you're going to want to look for if you want to open through and cut one, you want that nice solid texture throughout the whole thing. That meat looks beautiful. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to wrap it up in cheesecloth. So you're going to put it in there, a piece of cheesecloth just big enough to hold it up. Wrap it up there just nice and neat in the cheesecloth. And then you're just going to want to wrap up that with butcher twine. Then when you get it wrapped up like that, you're going to want to hang it in a nice cool dry place for anywhere from 2 weeks to a month. I can check back on this in 3 weeks and I'll show you how it's going. Well, this is what it is after about a month later. We've been curing this up for a month. I've already got it chopped up because we used it for a special service here tonight at work. But I get a chance to actually show you what this looks like. Okay, you'll notice after about a month it's got a good red dark texture to it, good and rubbery, not moist at all, no visible mold, and most of all, doesn't have any off smell, no ammonia type smell. You can tell it didn't go bad. This stuff should be perfectly fine. Great stuff. So thanks for joining us for another episode of the Camo Cook here, and I hope you found this recipe informative, and better yet, I hope you get out and try this, because this is the best tasting stuff. And I know a lot of you duck hunters are always looking for something different to do with your duck breasts. So just follow this simple recipe. If you can hang dry it longer, I mean, 1 month is the minimum. I just did this for a minimum. If you can go a year, it'll be just that much better. The longer you wait, the better, but at least 1 month, and you'll have perfect duck breast prosciutto. Check us next time.